औज़ुबिल्लाहि बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मद व अला आलि मुहम्मद व बारिक वसल्लिम अलैहि रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बना ज़िदना इल्मन अजमईन। अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। I request student Sajjad to recite a few verses from the Holy Quran.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakumullah khairan Sajjad. Now I request Dr. Zahir Khan sir to give his presentation.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, please go ahead, sir.
So today we are going to see the numbers and the verbs. In verbs we are going to see the past tense. Okay, I request Tamim sir to open the PDF and share the screen. Okay. So before seeing the past tense, we have to know the difference between the numbers, the difference between English and Arabic. What are the difference between numbers in Arabic and English? So in English, normally for 1 we say singular, and for 1 plus 1 or 2 we can say plural. But in Arabic, for numbers, 1 means singular, 2 means dual, D-U-A-L, dual, and 2 plus 1, 3 means it will be plural. So as in English, the plural are divided into sound plural and broken plural. The same way in Arabic also, the plural has been divided into sound plural and broken plural. So we will see one by one. So the singular. In English, a noun can be made feminine gender by adding a lady or girl before it. But in Arabic, we can add a ta marduta, which is known as round ta. Okay, I have given the 2 round tas. So, sir, why we are using these 2 round tas? So, one of the ta is used for naughty letters. So, you all know in Arabic there are 28 alphabets, in which 6 are naughty letters. What are they? Alif, dal, zal, ra, za, waw. Okay. So, for those naughty letters, we use the first ta marduta, round ta. Okay, you can see. For example, for male gender, for case ending, it is mudarrisun, mudarrisan, mudarrisin. When it comes to feminine gender, you have to add extra round ta, that's it. It becomes a female gender. Mudarrisatun, mudarrisatan, and mudarrisatin. So you can see the difference between mansub condition, accusative case. So if it is a ta marduta, round ta, there will be no extra alif when you are adding double fatha at the last of the letter. Okay. If you are adding double fatha, the condition, the rule is you have to add extra alif. This we have seen in the last class. But when the word, when a word ends with ta marduta, round ta, or a feminine ta, it should have only double fatha. There will be no extra alif added with that. Is it clear? I have given the second example as muhandisun, muhandisun, muhandisan, and muhandisin. For making the feminine gender, lady engineer, we can say muhandisatun, muhandisatan, and muhandisatin. So for nominative case, indefinite, we are using this. We have seen now. The next one. So in this page, we are giving the example for both definite and indefinite. How to make a lady teacher and the lady teacher. Okay. For example, an engineer, it becomes muhandisun, a lady engineer, muhandisatun. The same you can see in the next one. The engineer, al muhandisu, and the lady engineer becomes al muhandisatu. Hamzatul wasal and hamzatul qata. So what is Hamzatul Wasl and what is Hamzatul Qata? Hamzatul Wasl means the alif which does not have Hamza on top or bottom of it. I am repeating once again. What is Hamzatul Wasl? The alif which does not have Hamza on the top or bottom of it. What is Hamzatul Qata? The Hamzatul Qata is the alif which is having Hamza either on the top or at the bottom of the alif. Is it clear? I have given here the examples. So what is Hamzatul Wasl? The alif will not have Hamza on it. It should be pronounced only at the beginning of the sentence. For example, Ismul Waladi. So the first ism will be pronounced, the first alif will be pronounced, and al waladu, the alif will not be pronounced because it is coming in the middle. So Ismul Waladi. For example, the second example, what is name of the boy? Ma Ismul Waladi. So the both the alif for ism and al walad, the alif will be omitted because it is coming in the middle. So Hamzatul Qata. What is Hamzatul Qata? The alif will have Hamza on it and it can be pronounced anywhere in the sentence. For example, you can see the example, sir. Where is Ahmad? Aina Ahmadu. So for verbs, it is a word which represents an action done in the past, present or future. In Arabic there are three types of verbs. One is perfect tense, another is imperfect tense, and the third is imperative. The perfect tense is nothing but the work which has been done, which is past tense. The imperfect tense is the work which has not been done, okay, which is currently going on or it will be done in the future. It is known as present and future tense. And the imperative verbs, it is one which we are commanding or requesting somebody to do the work. Either we are commanding or we are requesting the work to somebody else who are in front of us. So these are the three main difference. So whenever we are starting a verb or a pronoun, we have to note these points. For example, in English and Arabic, the main difference for gender is in English it can be a male, female. Nowadays in all the applications there are separate column for a transgender. But in Arabic the gender can be either male or female. The second point, in English the numbers can be either singular one and for plural we will say two. But in Arabic, for one we say singular, for two we say dual, and for 2 plus 1 we say as a plural. Third person, second person and first person. So third person is nothing but those who are not in front of us. Okay, who is absent, not in front of. For them we say he or she. And second person is those who are in front of us. For example, you are listening. So you are the second person for me. So second person means it is you. In English we call you are a girl or you are a boy. So we call both the genders you. But in Arabic, anta is used for male and anti is used for female gender. And the first person is about me or us. So we use I or we. So today we are going to see the past tense. In past tense there are 3-letter verb, 4-letter verb, 5-letter verbs. Okay, so we are going to see the 3-letter verbs. So for example, we are taking fa'ala, fa kalima, fa, ain and lam. So students can write, take a fresh page and start writing fa, ain and lam. Fa separately, ain separately and lam separately. Which is also known as fa kalima, ain kalima, lam kalima. First radical, fa kalima means first radical or first letter. Ain kalima means second radical or second letter. And lam kalima means third radical or third letter. So the main condition for past tense is the first, if it is a 3-letter verb, the first letter and the third letter, for example, fa kalima and lam kalima will always have fatha. Okay, ends with fatha. The middle ain kalima, that is second radical or second letter, can either have fatha, kasra or dhamma. Depending upon the verb, it may vary. Okay, the fa kalima and the lam kalima, the first radical and the third radical will always have fatha, and the ain kalima, which is second radical, will always have fatha, kasra or dhamma. So see that we have seen the difference, singular, dual and plural, which I have written in the box, and male and female for third person separately, male and female for second person separately, and male and female for first person. So in the past tense, they have divided into two. One is sakin pronoun and one is mutaharrik pronoun. Okay, what is sakin pronoun and what is mutaharrik pronoun? We can remember the past tense with the help of noun. We are just comparing the noun and the verbs, whether it is matching or not. For example, if you are taking a noun, Mohandisun, and a verb, kataba. Kataba means he wrote. For he wrote, we are saying kataba, and an engineer, we are saying Mohandisun. Suppose I want to say two engineers. We are using ani, alif and nun. Suppose I am saying they too wrote. We have to just use alif. We have to skip the nun and we have to use only the alif. You can see the difference between this and that. Okay. For noun dual male we are using ani, and for verb dual male we are using only a. We are comparing this to plural. For example, all male engineers. We are saying Mohandisuna by adding una, waw, nun. Waw with sukun and nun with fatha. If you are comparing with this to plural, so they all wrote. The answer will be katabu. So we are removing the noon and we are just adding wow. The alif is extra. We will see the rule why we are using extra alif later on, inshallah. So I am repeating once again. Mohandisun becomes Mohandisani, Mohandisuna, and kataba becomes kataba, katabu. In the noun you can see the alif noon and a waw noon for dual and plural, but in verb you can see only alif and waw. The noon, extra noon has been skipped for both dual and plural. Hope you understand the male gender. Now you can see the female gender. How to write the female gender of verbs. So for example, if you are making a female gender, I have told previously that for making a female gender you have to add extra ta marduta or round ta or feminine ta. We can say any one word. Either it can be a ta marduta or we can say a feminine ta or a round ta. So for example, making a lady engineer, we are using Mohandisatun. For noun, we are adding round ta. Suppose I am writing, I want to say she wrote. I want to make a feminine gender for verb. So for verb, we are using open ta. For noun, we are using round ta, and for verb, we are using open ta. Okay, but the open ta should always be in a sukun, will have sukun on it. Now we move to the dual form. For example, two lady engineers. Mohandi sa tani. So we are adding tani. T-A-A-N-I. Ta alif and nun kasra. For making a verb, we are using only ta alif. For example, they two female wrote katabata. Is it clear? Katabata. For example, if you are making all female engineers, it will be Mohandi Satun. So what is sakin pronoun? Sir, you have told that past tenses they are dividing into two. One is sakin and one is mutaharrik. So what is sakin pronoun? Sakin pronoun is nothing but the lam kalima, that is the third radical or the third letter of a verb will have vowel on it. For example, you can see the third radical in this verb jalasa. The jim will be the first radical, first letter. Lam will be the second radical or second letter, and sin will be the third radical and third letter. The sakin pronoun is nothing but the third radical, which is sin, will have either fatha or dhamma on it. So what are the conditions? You can see in the first, for example, he said, you can use fatha for third radical, and they too said, you can use fatha on the third radical. But when it comes to they all said, it will be dhamma. Why? Because there is an extra waw with sukun. She said, it is the third radical will have fatha, and they two females said the third radical is having fatha. So you have to remember whether the third radical is ending with fatha, dhamma or sukun. The third radical does not end with kasra in the past tense. I am repeating once again. The third radical, lam kalima, can end with fatha or dhamma or sukun. It won't end with kasra. Clear? It won't have kasra on it. Okay. We can see the next example. I have given one more example for that. Jalasa. For example, Qala. Qala means he said. So Qala, Qala, Qalu, Qalat, Qalata. So you can say he said, they too said, they all said, she said, and they too said. So you can see the third radical, which is lam. So the lam is having fatha, fatha, dhamma, fatha, fatha. Okay. Second person. So till now we have seen the third person, male and female. We have not seen the female plural form of third person. We will see it later on. Now we are moving to the second person. For example, how will you say you wrote or you sat for male and female? For that we have to remember we have to remember the separate pronoun anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. Hope everybody remember those separate pronoun. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. So we are comparing the separate pronoun with the verb. So the second person separate pronoun anta, antuma, antum. So we are removing the alif noon from everything. Anta we are removing alif noon, antuma we are removing alif noon, and antum we are removing alif noon. You can see kataba. So it is katapta, kataptuma, kataptum. So you are adding ta, tumma, tum. Katapta, kataptuma, kataptum. Katapta means you wrote, kataptuma means you too wrote, and kataptum means you all wrote for masculine gender, second person. So next is anti, antuma, antunna. So in the same way you have to remove anti, you are removing alif noon, antuma you are removing alif noon, and antunna you are removing alif noon, and what is remaining? It is ti, tuma, tunna. So you are adding ti, tuma, tunna with the verb, so it becomes katapti, kataptuma, kataptunna. Okay, katapti, kataptuma, kataptunna. So the katapti means you female wrote, kataptuma means you two female wrote, kataptunna means you all female wrote. Okay, you can see kataba, he wrote. We are now adding extra ta with sukun for she wrote. For you wrote, you are adding ta with fatha. For you female wrote, you are adding ta with kasra. And I wrote, you are adding ta with dhamma. I am repeating once again. You just see the singular column. Just remember the singular column. For first one, kataba is as it is. And for making a she wrote, you have to add ta with sukun. For making you wrote, male, you have to add ta with fatha. For making female you wrote, you have to add ta with kasra. And for making I wrote, you have to add ta with dhamma. So you can see the last line. In the third line, third condition I have written for past tense verbs, first person singular male and female. See the third person singular female has ta with sukun. The second person singular male has ta with fatha. The second person singular female has ta with kasra. The first person singular male and female will have ta with dhamma. Okay. And so we have seen what is sakin pronoun. Sakin pronoun was the totally 5 boxes. For example, he wrote, they too wrote, they all wrote, she wrote, they too wrote. And now what is mutaharrik pronoun? Mutaharrik pronoun is nothing but it will start with one dot and it will end with one dot. So mutaharrik pronoun starts with one dot, which is nothing but noon with fatha, and it will end with one dot, which is noon with fatha with alif on it. Okay, noon, fatha with alif. For example, you can see the difference between sakin and mutaharrik. As I have told, sakin pronoun, the third radical or the lam kalima will have vowel on it. So you can see fatha, fatha, dhamma, fatha, fatha. So what is mutaharrik pronoun? Mutaharrik pronoun is nothing but the third radical fa kalima will have sukun on it. Okay, the third radical lam kalima will have sukun on it. This is known as mutaharrik pronoun. So the starting mutaharrik pronoun will have one dot, which is noon with fatha, and the ending mutaharrik pronoun will have one dot which is noon with fatha and alif. So the rest will be ta, tuma, tum, ti, tuma, tunna. Anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. So I am just reading the box. You just listen. Jalasa, jalasa, jalasu, jalasat, jalasata. That's it. Sakin pronoun has been finished. I am repeating once again. Jalasa, jalasa, jalasu, jalasat, jalasata. Sakin pronoun. Now when it comes to mutaharrik pronoun, the last letter C will have sukun on it. So it will be jalasna. Jalasta, jalastuma, jalastum, jalasti, jalastuma, jalastunna, jalastu, jalasna. Okay, hope you understood this. Thank you.
Students, I hope you have got a clear clarification about the verbs. This kind of preparation is required and it is expected. So I request you all to come up with the verb conjugation as presented by Dr. Zaid Khan sir. Alhamdulillah.